Let's talk Tanya for the 12th of Elul of a leap year. In today's Tanya, we begin a new letter, chapter 14 of Igeres HaKodesh. This is another letter that, as we mentioned in previous occasions, the Alter Rebbe would annually, once a year, he would send out a letter to his Chassidim, asking them to donate towards the fund that he administered, a fund which helped support the impoverished Chassidic families that lived in Israel at that time. In addition to the fact that this letter is a fundraiser, there's a very important lesson in this letter also, in terms of how to maintain our excitement, our passion in doing mitzvahs. After all, we do it again and again and again, and it's easy to fall into the trap of complacency or staleness, lack of excitement. And what kind of thoughts can we have to maintain that excitement? So the Alter Rebbe introduces over here a pasuk, a verse from Devarim. It's in the part of Devarim where it's talking about the greatness of the Holy Land. And Moshe Rabbeinu says over there to the Jewish people, Tamid einei Hashem elekecha ba mereishis hashana avad achris shana, which translates as, God's eyes are constantly upon it, upon the land, from the beginning of the year until the end of the year. It sounds amazing, sounds poetic, but we have over here a redundancy. The verse says, Tamid einei Hashem elekecha ba, which means that God's eyes are constantly on the land. If it's constantly, then that's obviously from the beginning of the year till the end of the year, because if God's eyes stop being on the land 3 days before the end of the year, that's not constantly. And even if you want to add it in something for emphasis, you could say, Tamid einei Hashem elekecha ba, that God's eyes are constantly upon the land, lo olam vad, for all eternity. What does it mean the beginning of the year to the end of the year? After all, when one year ends, the other year begins. So obviously, if it's from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, it's always. So Alter Rebbe explains that actually, we know that all the energy that enters creation, in order to create everything, in order to give life to everything, it comes to us through Chachma. Chachma, God's wisdom, which is the first of God's attributes, and that is where the Eir Ein Sof, the infinite light of God, enters, and from there spreads out to all of creation. However, every single year when it comes Rosh Hashanah, there is a new light that comes from Chachma. The light of this year is not the same as the light we had this past year. Why is that? Why can't we just have one consistent light that lasts from the beginning, from the 6 days of creation till today? The answer to that, we will find out, God willing, in tomorrow's Tanya.